What's up, everybody? It's La Muerte Blanca. We are back with another explained video where we speedrun the retelling of complicated game stories with plenty of jokes along the way. Our man Kiryu is back, and we finally get a chance to discuss Like a Dragon Gaiden, the game that ironically has a long-ass name, despite Kiryu trying to erase his. This one makes a ton of references to other Yakuza games, so if you don't know the story or haven't seen my other explained videos, make sure you check them out. This was a great appetizer before Infinite Wealth drops, but if you're one of those that can't spare the 10 plus hours needed to play it, don't worry, I got you. 3 years after the events of Yakuza 6, Kiryu is working for the Daidoji, a corrupt political organization that's been controlling Japan's politics and economy. If you don't remember, the head of Daidoji wanted Kiryu killed after he found out about that big-ass battleship in Yakuza 6. His old ass died instead, and new Daidoji leadership made a deal with Kiryu. Instead of killing him, the Daidoji would fake kill him. Kiryu's willing to fake his death and erase his name, see what I did there, in order to protect his family. He promised to keep the corruption secret and become a Daidoji agent, and they would fund the orphanage and keep Kiryu fed, sheltered, and hidden. And by hidden, I mean they give him a pair of sunglasses that aren't even fully tinted. We really couldn't come up with a better disguise, huh, RGG? While chilling at the Daidoji temple hideout, Kiryu, whose name is now Joru, again, great cover, gets approached by his handler Hanawa. Kiryu has to help oversee a smuggling operation and get some background on the events of the last couple of years while he's been in hiding. Some of this will sound familiar if you've seen my Like a Dragon video. The government is going balls deep on organized crime and has virtually wiped the Tojo out, while also working with the Omi. They had help when this guy Arakawa sold the Tojo out and is now acting captain of the Omi until Watase, this guy from Yakuza 5, gets out of jail. As all things do in these games, what is supposed to be a simple job goes to complete shit when it turns into a full-on raid. Dudes bust out this truck like,
"Surprise, motherfucker!"
taking Daidoji heads off like they're pinatas, setting guys on fire, and there's this creepy Hanya mask guy. It's fucking chaos. Kiryu figures out they're trying to take Hanawa, catches guys punch like, bitch, please. Can't believe it when Goon sees through that masterful disguise and beats them all up because that's what our guy does best. The next day, Hanawa sends Kiryu out to investigate a lead, and of course he runs into the gang from the night before. Their leader calls him by his real name, but Joru's all like, who, me? Yes, he annoyingly plays dumb the entire game. They just wanted to talk but didn't ask nicely, so Kiryu puts them all down. Then their leader, man with a suit, pulls up like Kiryu didn't annihilate the whole squad and catches hands too. Kiryu learns that they are Omi Alliance and set up the raid to kidnap Hanawa, hoping to find Kiryu. Kiryu grabs the guy, Hanawa pulls up, and they head for a safe house. On the way, boom! Van T-bones the shit out of Hanawa's car. Hanya guy steps out looking like a fake-ass Majima wannabe, and after Kiryu breaks the mask, we learn why Scarface had it on in the first place. Hanawa manages to get himself captured and the Omi get away, but not before Kiryu is given a phone and some information. Man in the suit is Tsuruno, captain of the Watase family, and he's trying to recruit Kiryu because Watase needs him for something. Kiryu's back at the temple getting debriefed by this asshole who wears leather jackets because he's clearly overcompensating for something. Kiryu says, "We gotta save Hanawa. Give me the phone." Leather jacket guy's like, "Nah fam, he's a liability, which means I get to act cool and point guns in my leather jacket. You know, Terminator shit." Kiryu bounces back like, "Fuck your leather jacket. You look like a Japanese Phil Spencer." Leather jacket guy dips while his boys handle Kiryu. But y'all acting like 4 dudes can stop the Dragon of Dojima. Bitch, get off me! Peasants get put down and Master Roshi gives the phone back to Kiryu. He's the agent who trained Hanawa and pickpocketed the leather jacket guy so he could help Kiryu save him. Kiryu fights his way through the entire Daidoji complex and gets a call from Tsuruno. Because some things never change, they meet at a bar. This conversation goes absolutely nowhere as Tsuruno's making this revelating speech and offers to give Kiryu his life back. But Kiryu's all like, "I don't know who this Kiryu person is. I'm here for Hanawa." Eventually, Tsuruno's like, fuck it, and just gives Kiryu a red tiger and tells him to find Akame and Sultanbori so he can prove himself. Akame is basically the female florist, info broker, friend to the homeless, no cool robe, but she's cuter than the florist, so I guess it's a fair trade. The red tiger means she's supposed to bring him somewhere, but we can't do that right now because instead she's making Kiryu run errands like saving homeless people and researching the new quote-unquote immersive cabaret club. Are you winning, son? RGG really made this a required mission because simps stay simpin'. Once you're done staring at Ayu's giant tits, Akame brings more debauchery to Kiryu's life as she finally flies him to the castle, an adult wonderland that makes Vegas look like Mormon Bible study. Why would the Omi want Kiryu here? Remember, he has to prove himself, and what better way to do that than another fight club? The Red Tiger is his entry ticket. There, Kiryu runs into Shishido, the fake Majima that kidnapped Hanawa. He says if Kiryu survives his fights, he'll tell him where they took Hanawa. Kiryu also sees Nishitani, patriarch of Omi's Kijin clan, and the guy who runs the castle. After getting registered, Kiryu says he needs a disguise. Apparently the glasses don't work anymore, even though he's still calling himself Joru. Shishido was kind enough to leave Kiryu a mask, but I didn't want to fight as Gay Mysterio, so we cosplayed Persona 5's Fox instead. Each fight is based on a major event in Yakuza history, so Kiryu starts rewriting history like the Gladiator when he kicks fake Watase's ass. Then he relives Yakuza's 1's finale, but this time he's Nishiki kicking fake Kiryu's ass. And during the final Coliseum fight, Kiryu is ironically playing himself against no fucking way. Is that really Ryuji? During the fight, Ryuji is tight, he's catching a hand, so drops Kiryu into a ring with 2 fucking tigers. Legit 600-pound, rip your face off tigers. Make no mistake, this isn't the first tiger Kiryu's had to fight, and I mean that literally. So he drops them both with his bare hands. Then he finishes Ryuji by grabbing this full-grown mountain of a man and straight up, boom, bats the fucking tiger across the arena. This game is wild. Let's go, Kiryu, Joru, whatever your name is. Are you not entertained? By the way, S in chat for cream and sugar. Not sure who names tigers after coffee condiments, but here we are. Also, for the record, that's not really Ryuji. Kiryu calls him out because only bitches fight with tigers. Real Ryuji throws hands. Shishido's impressed but has to monologue before telling us what we all want to know. Where is Hanawa? Hanawa's in Sotenbori, so Kiryu has to head all the way back to where he started, finds the building, and proceeds to beat the shit out of everyone there as he heads for the top floor. Eventually, he finds Hanawa, who's all messed up. Tsuruno sends his boy who has a saw, but Kiryu drops him like, sit the fuck down. Tsuruno takes the saw, grabs a branding iron because people have those on roofs for some reason, but Tsuruno forgot. Fire doesn't work on dragons. Sit your bitch ass down too. Hanawa is freed and a beat up Tsuruno tells Kiryu that Watase needs him as he and Daigo are planning a dissolution of the Omi and Tojo. Wait, what? No more Yakuza? But this really shouldn't be a surprise if you know anything about the first Like a Dragon game. As I mentioned before, the law is actively targeting organized crime, and Yakuza are becoming slaves to corrupt government officials. The plan is to dissolve before this fate becomes a reality. Of course, dissolution will piss off a ton of Yakuza, and all hell is sure to break loose. Watase thinks having a Yakuza legend on his side might make the situation a little less chaotic. Tsuruno then pleads with Kiryu, kill Hanawa and the Omi will give you your life back. Shut up, I don't kill. Also, who's Kiryu? Tsuruno is taken captive and now Hanawa's boss, Headless Professor X guy, wants to talk to Kiryu. They're not happy Kiryu's identity got leaked and want him to prove that he's still loyal to their original agreement. In order to do that, he has to kill Tsuruno. Kiryu takes the gun, points it at Tsuruno, and then takes Hanawa hostage. He tells Tsuruno to escape, and his ass takes off like,
yeah, that's the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Kiryu then proceeds to beat the hell out of everyone, including the dude he just saved, but gets stopped cold when he sees the Daidoji have Morning Glory surrounded. Kiryu gets locked up until Daidoji decide to execute him. Nah, are they really gonna kill our guy? Hanawa's hesitating. I mean, Kiryu did save his life, but everyone around him then points a gun at him, so now it's kill or be killed. Kiryu's like, dude, just fucking do it. I've been dead for 3 years and miserable for 7 games. Put me out of my misery. But Hanawa can't pull the trigger. They're really going to kill Hanawa? Psych! Hanawa's boss literally rolls in, and he's the one that put this entire sick situation together in order to test the bond between Hanawa and Kiryu. And it's a good thing it worked out too, because that gun was loaded, and if Hanawa pulled the trigger, Kiryu's brain would have been splattered all over that fucking floor. So why did they spare Kiryu after that betrayal? Because Tsuruno turned around and paid Daidoji 50 billion yen for Kiryu's life. What the fuck? Based on current exchange rates, that's almost 340 million USD. You know what the fuck you can buy with $340 million? I'll tell you, Katy Perry. Now Kiryu's working with the Omi, and after updating his look with that clean ass fit, well, at least it's better than whatever the fuck this is, Tsuruno explains that Watase and Daigo have been planning the Yakuza dissolution for the last 2 years. Tojo trader / acting captain of the Omi, Arakawa, is in on it as well, and once Watase gets out of jail, they're making the announcement. The last thing they need to do is get rid of Nishitani. He would oppose the plan and rally a large enough force to simply reform the Omi. Kiryu's all like, I'm not a killer. Really, Kiryu? Really? Still going with this whole I don't kill thing? Okay, let's just assume that every single person we caught with this heat action is wearing a vest, and he survived that obvious headshot. And this dude is not going to bleed to death after getting viciously shanked not once, but twice before help arrives. But we all know that help's not coming because you beat the shit out of them too. Next you tell me Joru can kill, but Kiryu doesn't. I'm fucking done with this. Anyway, mid-explanation, Nishitani calls like, "Gotcha, bitch!" and sends the whole crew after Kiryu because he knows Joru isn't really who he says he is. Kiryu go-go gadget Spidey swings through the ship trying to escape while fighting off payday NPCs and speedos. But just as Kiryu's nearing the helicopter, Nishitani rolls up like he's Kuze from Yakuza 0. Who has a motorcycle on a boat? Then Nishitani starts getting a hard-on about fighting Kiryu like he's Majima. But this isn't a ha-ha silly Majima hard-on. This dude needs help.
You gay.
Kiryu needs to make sure he's still talking about a fight because...
That's gay.
And Nishitani says he is, but then proceeds to say, and I quote, "This won't end till I pound your ass to death."
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Kiryu beats down Nishitani for crimes against sanity, but that ass whooping confirms Nishitani's suspicion when he figures out Joru is really the dragon of BOOM!
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Nishitani gets straight bodied, but is left there because his whole crew is watching and Tsuruno has to protect his cover. If they really want to get at Nishitani, they need to lure him off the boat. Luckily, Kiryu has a plan. He gets 30 million from Tsuruno and straight up blows it all in one night. He's going hard. He got the homies. He got the best cabaret girls. It is literally raining money. Living up like he's been dead for 3 years. Wait. The idea is that Nishitani will get so upset that Kiryu's not scared of him. He'll leave the boat and take Kiryu out himself, especially if Kiryu beats up Nishitani's whole crew that very same night. The next morning, Kiryu finds out they got Nishitani off the boat, but Hanawa brings up a good point. Nishitani is fucking crazy, an assassin, and you don't know when he'll pop up. Kiryu really needs to draw him out of hiding if he wants a chance at him. So to do this, Kiryu and the homies steal his boat while he's not there, show it off to the public, and do their best Lonely Island impression until Nishitani calls Tsuruno mad as hell.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker, don't you ever forget!
Tsuruno's trying to keep his cover, so he's all like, "What?" But says he'll give Kiryu his number. First thing Kiryu does is send a picture of himself with Nishitani's girls on his boat.
Sensational.
Naturally, this sends Nishitani into a frenzy until he finally tells Kiryu where to meet. Spoiler, it's a trap. But after beating the hell out of the crew, Shishido gives Kiryu a ride to where Nishitani is really hiding. Again, Kiryu fights his way through the building, making sure not to kill anyone, of course. And then they get to Nishitani. He calls Kiryu out again because he's sure he's not really Joru. Kiryu takes off his glasses, and Nishitani freaks out because he can finally confirm his theory. This game is giving way too much credit to that shitty disguise. Nishitani talks more shit, Kiryu makes him eat his own words, and as he's trying to escape, no way. Shishido kills Nishitani? On Tsuruno's order? They can't take any chances when it comes to dissolution, so they gotta get rid of him. Kiryu's tight because he's an accomplice to murder, while both only try to justify their action. The building goes up in flames, but hold up. What happened to the body? While Nishitani's out of the picture, Kiryu's chilling until Watase gets out of prison. Meanwhile, the events that happened during Yakuza Like a Dragon unfold as the two timelines begin to merge. The citizens' literal party, run by the corrupt Daidoji officer, is taken over by Aoki, who also controls the Omi. Ichi's chasing Arakawa for answers, and all the Yakuza legends are starting to gather at Omi HQ. The night before Watase's release, Kiryu's catching up with Hanawa. Both Hanawa and the Daidoji want to show their appreciation for everything Kiryu's doing and offer him a vacation when this is all over. He did make them 50 billion yen. Kiryu says he'd like to visit Hawaii as his true love and Haruka's mother, Yumi, said it'd be the perfect place to get married. He mentions wanting to go to the chapel Yumi talked about and leave the ring he gave her during Yakuza 1. The next day, Watase is finally out of jail and meets up with his people to get ready for the announcement. But just as all things in this franchise, it never goes according to plan. Shishido, you two-timing fake-ass Majima-flaunting Scarface-ass bitch. He and all the Omi there turn on Watase, Kiryu, and Tsuruno. And to make things worse, Nishitani's alive? Shishido never actually killed Nishitani. He used a fake blood knife to make it look like he killed him, then made a deal on the side so the two of them could take over the Omi after they take out Watase. They do the bad guy monologue thing, but it doesn't matter because Kiryu roundhouses Nishitani off a 3-story scaffold and then sends Shishido into the abyss. Right when you think it's over, Tsuruno's over here doing dumb shit by nudging Nishitani, who then slices dude's shin. Then right when Tsuruno's about to catch a foot-long blade, oh shit. Watase steps in and he's the one that gets shanked? By the way, dude got kicked off a 3-story building. How the hell is he up and ready to fight? Boom! Then Nishitani gets straight leveled by Hanawa's car. The homies get patched up and cleaned up, don't know how the hell Nishitani is still alive after that massacre, and they head for Omi HQ to announce the dissolution. The next part will look very familiar if you know Yakuza like a dragon. They arrive at Omi HQ, Watase announces the Omi dissolution, everyone's all like, what the fuck? Daigo announces the Tojo dissolution, everyone's still all like, fuck you Watase! And Saejima starts tossing dudes by their faces. Majima's saving the world from tacky neckwear, and all hell breaks loose as Ichi and crew beat the hell out of the Omi. Then one dude finds a knife, an opening, and starts screaming, Watase! Boom! Fucking bodied. I see it coming every time, but it never gets old. The Dragon of Dojima makes his presence known as he knocks this dude all the way out. But remember, that's not Kiryu. That's just some bodyguard Watase hired. I'm so done with this. They quell the uprising, Kiryu quietly gives respect to his successor Ichi, and the Yakuza legends head out to deliver the dissolution letter. But we're not done yet. Maybe Kiryu should start killing because Shishido's back again. It takes 3 of them to push Shishido back as he literally catches Majima's knife. Apparently, he didn't learn his lesson the first 2 times he got beat down, and neither did any of the Omi that just got their ass whooped because they're all back for more. All the shirts come off, all the female Yakuza fans out there start dropping their panties, you know who you are, and again there's a full-on brawl. Mid-fight, Shishido takes off because bosses like to run away in these games. Kiryu goes after him, and after more unnecessary monologuing, the generational battle between Yakuza young and old has begun. Pro tip, if you upgrade your heat actions throughout the game and bring a healthy supply of items, this fight is laughably easy, despite the fact that Shishido has 1,000 fucking health bars. After cheesing the same heat action over and over and decking Shishido off the second floor awning, it's finally over. But wait, Leather Jacket Guy's kidnapping Shishido? He says he has Nishitani as well and will be using them for the Daidoji. Say what? Sometime later, after the dissolution and after Ichi defeats Aoki in his own game, the Daidoji decide to reward Kiryu for everything he's done. First, Hanawa gives him a recording of his Morning Glory family visiting his grave. The kids are all grown up and paying respects to Uncle Kaz. If you can get past the fact that they randomly found this hidden camera, and if you can get past the fact that they somehow deduced this camera means Kiryu's still alive, then you can enjoy what I would argue is the most heartfelt, emotional scene of this entire franchise. Hits you right in the feels as Kiryu sees his family for the first time in 3 years. Highly recommend you check out the full scene for yourself. After Kiryu's done ugly crying all over Hanawa's tablet, he's ready to go on vacation. Hanawa sets Kiryu up with an all-new identity, and if Taichi Suzuki sounds familiar, that's because that was Kiryu's secret identity when he was a taxi driver in Yakuza 5. How does Hanawa know that name? Turns out he knew Kiryu before joining the Daidoji. Similar to Kiryu, Hanawa had to change his name and leave his old life behind. Who is he? The game never officially confirms this, but there are a number of very compelling Reddit threads that argue that he's really Morinaga. Oh shit. Don't know who that is? Watch my Yakuza 5 video. Several years later, Kiryu has finally made it to Hawaii cosplaying Yu Narukami from Persona 4. After all this time, he's finally made it to Yumi's chapel, leaves the ring, and heads off to get into more shenanigans with Ichi in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And that's Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Like most RGG games, there are still a ton of questions. Hopefully you'll get some answers in Infinite Wealth. Probably not. We'll see. If you enjoy these videos, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, or don't. I'm not going to tell you how you live your life. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what other games do you guys want to see. We've already done a ton of explain videos, so make sure you check those out as well. I'm La Muerte Blanca, and I'll catch you guys next time.